So if it's a question of demand vis-a-vis supply, so the topic is decision theory. So we have here payoff table. Payoff table. Payoff table. So it's a question of supply vis-a-vis demand. So remember the supply here becomes my what here, somebody. The supply goes there. And then we have in this case here our demand. So we have here the supply vis-a-vis demand there. The supply vis-a-vis demand. The supply vis-a-vis demand. So always supply is what we have powers over. Supply is what we as business people have control over. We will be able to decide how many crates of milk do we supply to the market. If we say it's 100, for sure we shall take 100. So supply in this case here, these will be our alternatives. Supply will be our alternatives like that. Supply will be our alternatives like that. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the next thing that I'm supposed to know here is that the demand that we have here, is our states. These are our states of what here? These are our states of nature. These are our states of nature. These are our states of nature. These are our states of what here? Nature. Because for demand, ladies and gentlemen, we, all of us, you and I, we have been in business. You can supply whatever you want to supply. You can market aggressively, but at the end of the day, the demand is basically grace of God. It's an act of God. There is nothing much really you will be able to do. So in this case here, demand represents what we call states of nature, the probabilistic. This is where you take your probabilities. So ladies and gentlemen, we happen to be having our quantities, number of crates here, which we have to consider. So we have 100. We are supplying multiples of 100. So 200. The next one is 300. The next one is 400. The last one is what here, somebody? The last one is 500. From there, we have demand. Ladies and gentlemen, demand, what we have, the same figure. Remember from your basic rules of economics, demand must always match what here? Supply. So the same figure as here. We must have the matching concept. So we have here demand of 100, 200, 300. We have here 400. And then lastly, we have 500. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we happen to be having what here? Probabilities. So I hope you have been able to take in that. So the probabilities that you guys gave me earlier on, I can't put them here. Probabilities are normally attached to the states of nature. The probabilities are normally attached to the states of nature, so the demand values. So the first one that I can remember was 0.1. The second one was 0.25. Let me just make reference to the demand figures that you guys had given me. The probabilities you guys had given me. So 0.4, 0.15. So we have here 0.4, 0.15. And then lastly, the last one, ladies and gentlemen, the last one is 0.1. The last one is 0.1. So you get most students, I don't know for whatever reason, putting the probabilities where here. No. Probabilities are normally put, ladies and gentlemen, over what here? States of nature. Those things that are not controllable from your side, which are not controllable from your side. Now, ladies and gentlemen, having done that, the next thing now will be for me to come and ascertain. We ascertain the profits. The profits in this case here, which we will call what here? The profits that we shall be calling. The profits that we shall be calling. The profits that we shall be calling. The profits which we shall be calling our payoffs. Our payoffs. And they're quite easy. Like now the first scenario here, we have supplied 100. How many have been demanded? 100. So then at the end of the day, how much profit will we make? Profit is revenue minus cost. You are the ones who gave me a selling price of 450 per crate. So then the revenue here will be 100 times 450. Because you have supplied 100, you have sold 100. Whether we have supplied 100, the demand is 100, so we sell 100. Minus the cost of supply. The cost of supply here, there is nothing like special production. Ladies and gentlemen, we are taking just 100, the initial 100, which is normal production. So normal production will be 100 times each crate produced normally without any hassling, without any, in this case here, hurry, will cost us 300, will cost us 300. So could you kindly give me this profit, my great friends? Kindly give me this profit. What we have here, I want to see your answers. The first, the initial, no, this was an old figure. Melissa tells us 15,000. I would want my figures to be in thousands. I would want my payoff table to be in thousands. So this will give us 15. Come to this one here. Can somebody try to interpret this for us? Moses, I know you have done this question. Could you kindly try to interpret this cell for us? What is happening here, Moses? What is happening there in that cell? What is happening in that cell? What is happening in this cell? So somebody try explaining to, it doesn't have to be Moses. Try explaining to us what is happening there. So from this lady HP Milka, she tells me demand is 200, but we can only supply 100. We can only supply 100. From a bit grand, there is special production because demand is higher than the supply. Lokai says revenue, I want to believe Lokai wanted to mean 200, not 2,000. 200 times 450. Ladies and gentlemen, a bit grand tells us here we have supplied few to the market, but the demand is more. And what have we been told in this question whenever demand is higher? Please let us read this line, which starts if demand exceeds supply. There's a line there which starts with if demand exceeds supply. A special production of fresh milk is made at a cost of 400 per crate. So anytime our demand is higher, the question has made a provision in a way that we shall not disappoint any customer. We shall not disappoint any customer. In a way that we shall not disappoint any customer. So here, as that lady Garang told us, ladies and gentlemen, there will be some special order. So when it comes to cost of production, we'll be having the first 100 units that we supply, crates that we supply, where we shall be charged 300. And then there is another special production quantity of 100, where the special is a little bit expensive, the special production, if demand exceeds supply, a special production of fresh milk is made at a cost of shillings 400 per crate. What have they told us after that? However, the selling price remains what here? Unchanged. And that is why you saw somebody saying that our revenue will still be 200 times 450. But now we are going to have two costs. There is the cost of the normal supply, which is 100 times what here? 300. And then there is this abnormal quantity, which we had to really go to the kitchen afresh to produce something for customers that we never wanted them to go away, but we have to do it quite hurriedly, quite in this case here faster. And because of the speeding up of the process, we are told that each crate will cost a little bit more. Each crate will cost a little bit more. So could you kindly give me an answer, somebody here? Kindly give me an answer. Kindly give me an answer. What do we have there? Kindly give me an answer. What do we have there? So Lokai gives me and Melissa 20. Also Dennis. I've never. That is the first time I'm coming across this great name, Dennis. Great 20. Now, could you kindly take a step of faith and now give me the answers for the next 3 cells? A step of faith. Give me the answers for the next 3 cells. Please try to argue out. 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 So we have Lokai giving us a figure of 25. A figure of 25. This 400 one will give us what figure, somebody there? $25. The next one is 30. 30. The next one is 30. The next one is 30. The next one is 30. I want to see answers from everyone. Mohammed, I want to see you giving me an answer. And please don't do, even if it's not right, because there is an logic here, there is an argument that I would want everyone to see. Elena Said, I would want to see your answers. Today's class is not our usual class. No. Today, the ball will be dribbled by yourselves. So I'm not reading yeah, Dahir. At least Dahir has come. Dahir is a new. Even Mohammed, 35. Thank you very much. 35. Now, this specific one, the answer will be given by Elena. The answer will be given by Elena and Denise. Denise gives us a figure of 15,000. 15,000. Remember, our figures are in terms of thousands, so please be giving us figures in terms of thousands. How about from the other students? We have 15 of us. Today, I'm checking out on everyone. Okay, let me expand my list here. I'm checking out on everyone. Today, it's everyone. Denise gives us Lokai gives us minus 15,000. Melissa, yes. Melissa, give me an answer. Moses Juma minus 15,000. Thank you very much. Melissa minus 15. Thank you very much. Ekabaila came in a little bit late. I hope she is able to give us something. Rose Mwangi, give us something. Give us something. Even Kiteto came in a little bit late. Even this person with Galaxy. Edward Ochola, negative 15,000. Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what we have here, we happen to be having a situation where we supply 200, a situation where we supply 200, a situation where we are supplying 200, but what is the demand? Only 100. Meaning, ladies and gentlemen, that we shall only be able to sell 100. We have taken so many units here to the market, but the market never wanted to consume everything. So we can only sell 100. We can only sell 100. So we shall talk about 100. 100 times the selling price per credit is 450. But remember, we have taken 200 to there. 200, ladies and gentlemen, had been supplied already. So the cost of supply will be 200 times our normal cost, which is what here, somebody? 300. Here, there is nothing like perishing. There is nothing like disappointing customers. So if you punch this figure as well, you'll be able to see, ladies and gentlemen, minus what here? Minus 15, because this will be 45,000 vis-a-vis 60,000. So it will be minus 15,000. Our figures are in thousands like that. So please now give me the rest very fast. Give me the rest very fast. Then you give me the rest very fast. So I want to write all the rest. Please ask questions, participate. Ask questions, participate. Moses Juma gives me 30. Denise gives me 30 as well. I'm waiting to hear from the other students. Thank you very much. Tahir as well. Edward, very good. Melissa, very good. 30. Thank you very much. So please do me a favor. Compute now all the others very fast. Compute all the others very fast in the entire table. Compute all the others very fast in the entire table, and then we'll be able to compare notes. So I can see Moses giving me the next one as 35. And today you guys are great. You are really onto this thing. Yeah. Today I should be the one even buying dinner, isn't it? And I can see Neema Kiteto, congratulations, because you came in a little bit late and you've been able to give us a figure. Neema, thank you very much. I am able to recognize the figure of 30 that you gave up there, which is a correct figure. Lokai has even gone ahead to give us everything. For the supply of 300, Lokai has gone ahead to give us everything for the supply of 100. So here I'm told that we have 30, 30, 35, 40, 45. And then for the supply of 300, according to this lady called Lokai, Lokai tells us minus 45, 0, minus 45, 0, 45, 50, 55. Minus 45, 0, 45, 50. And then for 400, minus 70, minus 30, 15. Minus 70, minus 30, 15. So minus 70. No, it's minus 75, sorry. Minus 75. Minus 75, minus 30, 15, 15, 15. And then we have next 60, 65. So we have here 60, 65. And then we have 500, ladies and gentlemen. For 500, we have minus 105. Minus 105. Minus 105. And then the next one is minus 30, minus 15. Minus 30, minus 15. Minus 30, minus 15. 30 and 75. So we have here 30 and 75. So is there any figure, ladies and gentlemen, that somebody would want me to calculate? Is there any figure among us these that you feel Mwalimu is one, please calculate for us? If there is none, then ladies and gentlemen, kindly allow me to answer the questions. So the first one, part A, done and dusted. So we go to part B, where they want us to use the maxi criterion to advise these people how many crates should they supply, how many crates should they produce. So of course that is yours, that is not mine at all. That is yours now. So using maxi there, what do we expect, ladies and gentlemen, to be the best decision alternative for these people? Yeah, there is a person asking a question. The last one for 500. The last one for 500. The last one for 500. Moses wants us to do this together. So for 500, I will be able, ladies and gentlemen, to sell the 500 here for 450. And I know it's normal cost of supply, which will be 500 times what here, somebody? Normal cost, which is 300. So if you do it that way, I believe we'll get 75. You'll get 75. I have my calculator. What I will do, I will come straight away here. Oh, they're giving us the answer. Now I get it. They're giving us the answer that if we go the maxi way, these people should supply 500. Sorry, most are not gotten what you wanted to imply. If we go the maxi way, Remember maxi is also known as what here? The best of the best. Maxi is also known as best of the best, and we normally start by giving them the best for each alternative. The best for each alternative. So like now here, the best for each alternative, the very best here is 35. The very best here is 45. The very best here is 55. The very best here is 65. For every alternative, you choose the best. For every alternative, you choose the best. Here is 75. And then after getting the best scenes, now you can only settle on one of them. You can only settle on one of them, which is what is 75. Amongst the best scenes. This is what we call BB, the best of the best. And therefore, if that is the case, the one that corresponds to BB is this 500. So if it's maxi, these people here should supply 500 crates. Ladies and gentlemen, how about maxi-mini? How about maxi-mini? How about maxi-mini? Maxi-mini, I'm giving you a minute. How about maxi-mini? Look, I had finished this question, I think, long time ago, yesterday. Maxi-mini, according to Danish, 100 crates. I don't know where Moses Juma is getting 15 from. I want you to give me the decision, Moses. The Galaxy Man is asking us whether we should ignore the number of packets. Basically, that is noise. Because if you look at the question, ladies and gentlemen, is asking us about what here? The crates of milk. The crates of milk, not packets of milk. Even if they were to ask about packets, what I'll do, I'll be getting the crates there, and then I'll multiply later with the 20. So Edward says 100 by maxi-mini. Thank you very much. Moses at the end of the day was able to clarify 15 lies on the 100. So what you're supposed to remember under maxi-mini, what you're supposed to remember, ladies and gentlemen, under maxi-mini, maxi-mini is the best of who? The best of the worst. And we normally start by looking at the worst. We normally start at this worst. Create a column here for worst. Remember, maxi-mini is normally used to advise who? Maxi-mini is normally used to advise individuals who are pessimists, conservatives, risk averse. So somebody who is pessimistic, if you tell them that if you supply 100, you could either get this, or this, ladies and gentlemen, this person will always go for the lowest. Life never works for him very well. He'll always go for the lowest. The same case here with, so you go for every alternative, selecting the worst. So here we have minus 15. Here we have minus 45. Here we have, ladies and gentlemen, minus 75. Ladies and gentlemen, here we have minus 105 being the worst. And of course, after giving us the worst scenes, now you need to come and settle on these as your optimal. So the optimal here will be 15. The optimal there will be 15, the best of the worst. The best of the worst. This is what we call BW, best of the worst. And therefore, what we are saying is that under maxi-mini, these people, ladies and gentlemen, should be able to do it. Under maxi-mini, these people should supply 100. They should supply 100. They should supply 100. So still working on my table, I will come here, rub this like that, rub this like that. Using the same table, I can see Roman 3, they want me to give them the best decision using expected monetary value. So using expected monetary value, what do we know about expected monetary value? It is equal to summations of x values times their corresponding what here? Probabilities. Summation of x values times their corresponding probabilities like that. So come and create a column here where you multiply x with what here? P, summed. What we call our EMV. So EMV, fortunately, we have the probabilities. So like for the EMV of 100, what I will do is to take 15 times 0.1 plus 20 times 0.25 plus 25 times 0.4 plus 30 times 0.15 plus 35 times 0.1. You add the summation of all x values corresponding, or rather multiplied with their corresponding probabilities. So EMVs, can you give me the answers for the EMV? EMV for the first one, EMV for the first one. What do we have there? Somebody EMV for the first one. Moses gives us 24.5. 24.5 is the EMV of the first one. 24.5 is the EMV of the first one. How about the second one, ladies and gentlemen? The second one, what do we have there? The second one, what do we have there? 30.5. My figures, remember, in thousands. So 30.5, I'm being told, and I want to believe everybody is trying to be very aggressive. Like now for 200, we have said you take all the monies receivable, multiply them with their corresponding probabilities as a sum. So like now here we'll talk of minus 15 times this, plus 30 times this, plus 35 times this, plus 40 times that, plus 45 times that, give us that figure which Lokai has given us, which Lokai has been able to give us. So please go to the next one. Please go to the next one. Go to the next one. The next one, according to, nobody has given me the next answer. Moses gave me the second answer, and I'm looking for the third answer. I am looking for the third answer. Lokai says 6.5. Is there anybody who is able to see that 6.5? So I'm being given 26.5. Lokai changed our mind. Lokai also changed our mind. So we have here 26.5. And then we go for the fourth one, the fourth figure. The fourth figure, what do we have there? The fourth figure. The fourth figure, what do we have there? The fourth figure. So we have 6 point what here? 6.5. 6.5, and then the very last figure, ladies and gentlemen, the very last figure, what do we have over there? The last figure, what do we have there? Negative 12. Now, ladies and gentlemen, having gotten these figures, remember, on the basis of the expected monetary value, we can only settle for that alternative. Sorry for that. We had to stop along the way for fueling purposes. Fueling purposes. So we are trying to explain something very nice. That according to expected monetary value, we will always endeavor to maximize the EMV. So EMV must always be done what here? Must always be maximized. EMV, we always go for the maximum. So the maximum, ladies and gentlemen, amongst all this is 30.5. And if it's 30.5, ladies and gentlemen, what do we have here? We have 200 as the best quantity to supply. So 200 is the best quantity to supply. 200 is the best quantity to supply. Is there anybody who has a question? Melissa? Melissa says she's getting 19.5, For which one, Melissa? The last one or which one? Negative 19.5. Melissa, which expected monetary value are you getting as negative 19.5? The last one or which one? According to Melissa, she's getting negative 19.5 for the last one. For this one here, for the 500. For the 500, getting our average minus 105 times this, plus minus 30 times this, plus minus 15 times this, plus 30 times the probability, plus 75 times the probability. She's getting negative 19.5. Is there someone else who is getting that negative 19.5? Aha, someone is saying that they can't see me. They can't see me. I don't know how. Is that the case for everyone? Are you people able to see Mwalimu? Are you able to see my board? Are you able to see my board? Yes. I can. Thank you very much. So HP, it must be internet from your side. Must be internet from your side. Please check out. Must be internet from your side. Yeah. Yeah. Please always go for the better option, which is Safaricom. Safaricom is the best. So the last one, is the last one minus 12 or minus 19.5? Somebody. The last one. Is it minus 12 or minus 19.5? They don't want to help me. I don't want to ignore. It's minus 12. Melissa, try again. Try again, Melissa. It's supposed to be minus 12. Now, I want you guys to do me a favor. In 5 minutes, I would want to see whether there is anybody who will be able to advise us using minimax regret. Try advising us using minimax regret. Minimax regret in 5 minutes. Minimax regret method. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Sasa kwa mwalimu anaendelea sijui hii kwenda bunge. Mwalimu bana chini na kataa sasa ni namba. Watumie waambiwe wamejua sana mambo yao. Huko mwalimu anafunza pale. Anasema hizi ya swali katikati. So mmeje tumela kwa shughuli nyingine. Sasa mmeje kwa swali nyingine zaidi. Ndio technology what? Great. So to welcome our new group, ladies and gentlemen, I would want us to have like a quick recap of what we did in our last class, by using this past paper question, May 2017. May 2017, question number 2C. 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 So remember, the topic is decision theory, and today I would want us to finish this topic by crowning everything with decision trees. Decision trees. Decision trees. So we have there May 2017 question number, May 2017 question number 2C. Do we have that question, my great friends? Do we have that question, my great friends? What is the response? I would want to know whether they're able to hear me. Yes, eh? Yes, thank you very much. So we are reading together. ABC Limited, or rather you start always by reading the required, The required, we are told, advise ABC Limited on the best course of action based on the following approaches. Expected profit, and then number 2, minimizing risk. Expected profit, I will not help you. That is your work. Expected profit, if we go for the small scale production, large scale production, how much profit do we expect? Someone talk to me tonight. I want to know, if I go for small scale production, how much profit will I be expecting? Expected profit is the same as expected monetary value. Is the same as expected monetary value. It is the same as expected monetary value. Check your email. So is there somebody who has been able to give us expected monetary values? So it happens to be question number 1 in this handout that I have been able to pin for you. Okay. It's good I get to pin the questions there just in case somebody may want to make reference to this video in future. because now we are providing access to these videos. We are providing access to the videos. Okay, so we are told, ladies and gentlemen, question number one, it's question number one, it's displayed there. We are told ABC Limited has recently developed a new product named X. The demand for X is expected to be low, medium, or high with those probabilities. The product is to be manufactured at small or large scale production with the following annual profit estimates. So they have given us the annual profit estimates, which you are able to see there. And then we are required to advise ABC Limited on the best course of action based on the following approaches. The first one being the expected what year? Profit. The first one being the expected profit. So for expected profit, I'm so sure you guys have been able to get expected profits. To get expected profits, ladies and gentlemen, what I need to do is to come and go for each alternative one at a time. So we have here, we know that expected profit is the same as expected monetary value. And if it is the same as expected monetary value, ladies and gentlemen, I know expected monetary value is about summation of all X values here multiplied by their probabilities. And then we'll come and do what here? Somebody will come and sum. So then, ladies and gentlemen, for small scale, what do we have? EMV for small scale, I can see the first profit is 40. The corresponding probability there is 0.25. Plus, I can see the second profit is 140. So 140 times 0.45 plus, ladies and gentlemen, 180 times 0.3. So could you kindly give me the answer there? Kindly give me the answer. 180 times 0.3. Kindly give me the answer. What is the expected profit or expected monetary value for small scale? For small scale, kindly give us the answer. For small scale, what are they telling me there? 27. From there, we go large scale production. I can see there are three profits. So we have here 5 times the corresponding probability. The corresponding probability of a small is 0.25, or 5, I mean, for large. Then we have a plus 90 times 0.45 plus 280 times 0.3. What are they able to get there, somebody? What are they able to get there?
125.72.
125.72. 125.72. So on the basis of the expected monetary value, what do you think will be the best? What do you think in this case here will be the best alternative to go for? Should we put up a small plant or a large plant? A small plant or a large plant? The one that has got a higher expected monetary value is this one here with 127. And therefore, the company should build. Is it building or the company should manufacture in what here, somebody? Small scale, like that. And then you get your marks, you go to the next thing. The company should manufacture using small scale facilities. So that is number 1. But I want to ask myself before I go to Roman 2, what if this examiner told us to advise this particular person using a decision tree? Using a decision tree. So the first thing that will be required to remember about decision trees, ladies and gentlemen, is this. So mention there decision trees. Decision trees. So decision trees, these are basically, these are pictorial presentations, pictorial presentations of the decision-making process, of the decision-making process, That picture, which is able to show us, ladies and gentlemen, how decisions are being made, is what we are calling a decision tree. It's a schematic presentation of the decision-making process. The most important thing that you're supposed to know at this level are the symbols. The symbols. We normally have the box, 2 symbols, and then we have a circle. A box in this case here represents what we call an alternatives node. An alternatives what here? Node. A box represents an alternatives node. A box represents an alternatives node. And then of course we have a circle. A circle, this is the outcomes node, or the states of nature. States of nature node. States of nature node. So we have alternatives node versus what here? States of nature node. States of nature node. So every time we talk about decision trees, if the examiner tells you to draw a tree, always you have to remember that we have got a box and a circle. It cannot be a complete tree if it doesn't have these 2 symbols. The 2 symbols must always be there for us to be able to say that we have a decision tree. So what I want my brother to do for me here is to pin that question. Please pin the question for us. And then we draw the tree. So in this question, ladies and gentlemen, they have told us expressly that ABC Limited has recently developed a new product named X. The demand for X is expected to be low, medium, or high, with those probabilities being given. The probabilities they are being given. Right? The product is to be manufactured at small or large, or means what here? Alternatives. So with the following annual profit estimates. So with that information, then I should be able to draw the tree. And this tree, ladies and gentlemen, has to begin with a box. All decision trees normally begin with a box. So here, box, we are faced by 2 alternatives, which you are going to choose one. Either to come and manufacture this thing using the small, or we manufacture this thing using the large. So we have small stroke large. Small stroke large. Ladies and gentlemen, listen and listen to me very well. The moment you put up a small productions plan, automatically you have to sit somewhere and wait for the outcomes. It's trial and error. I've invested, so I have to wait for the outcomes. And these outcomes, ladies and gentlemen, are 3. We are told that the outcomes, the same case here with large, the outcomes are 3. The outcomes are 3. The outcomes are 3. What outcomes are we talking about here? We have the low, medium, high demand. So if we go for small, it doesn't matter. The demand could either be low, medium, or small. Low, medium, it's low, medium, or high. Or high. The same case with this. It is low, medium, or high. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're keen enough, you must have discovered that for these outcomes, we've used a circle. A circle means what? Something that is slippery. We are not so sure of the particular outcome that will prevail at the end of the day. So we have our circle here. We are not so sure of the particular outcome that will prevail at the end of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we have this circle here, the circle will always be housing all probabilistic outcomes. Like now low, they have given us a probability. If you look at low, they told us low, the probability is 0.25. Medium, if you look at the question itself, medium, medium, the probability given there for medium is 0.45. 0.45. And then high, lastly, is 0.3. Low, we have 0.25. We have 4.45. High, we have got 0.3, like that. So I want to give you 1 minute. You draw this tree. Draw the tree. I'm giving you this 1 minute. You draw the tree. I would want them to see the board. I want them to see the board. So please draw the tree. Draw this tree of mine. Finished drawing. So once you finish drawing, ladies and gentlemen, I expect you now to come and put those probabilities up. You not probabilities, but the payoffs. You put the payoffs up. So like for the small plant, are you able to see the payoffs? Are you able to see the profits of the small plant? Somebody? Yes, I can see. For the small plant, low is 40. Small plant, medium is 140. Medium is 140. High is 180. High is 180 profit. Profit is the same as payoff. From there, we go to the large. The large, you could either talk of 5, 5, 5. So for large, we have 5, 90, and 280. 5, 90, and then we have 200 and what here? 280 like that. 280 like that. So that is the end of our tree. The only thing that we need to do, ladies and gentlemen, now is to come and work these figures from here, right-hand side figure. We derive them, we take them to the left. Ladies and gentlemen, we have these figures here, which we need to bring to the point of decision making through a process that we normally call rollback. We roll back. So rollback, what here? Technique. Rollback technique. So under rollback technique, what do we have, ladies and gentlemen? Under rollback technique, what we have, while rolling back to a circle, you find an average. So in this case here, when rolling back to a circle, find an average. Find an average. While rolling back to a circle, find an average. And how do we find our average? To find our average, we normally take summations of XP. Summations of XP. And then, ladies and gentlemen, while you are going to a box like this is a box. This is a box. Always for a box, you pull back the best. Please write like that. So for a box, you pull back what here? The best. For a box, we pull back the best. So I would want someone to see what I'm talking about here. Like now I want to pull back, or rather I want to roll back to this. This is a circle. So for a circle, it is average because we do not know between 40, 140, or 180, which one is going to prevail. It's a slippery thing. And that is why we want to work with an average. So then how do we get this average? It's very easy because I can see the probabilities and the values. you take 0.25 times 40 plus 0.45 times 140 plus 0.3 times 180. You give me a figure, I write down. You give me a figure, I write down. Somebody, this is a circle, and for a circle, what have we said? Find an average. How do we find an average? Average is like expected monetary value. So you take the monetary values you have times their probabilities, and then you aggregate them, you combine them. Can somebody talk to me? What do we have here, somebody? 127. Thank you very much. How about this? Again, this one, ladies and gentlemen, is a circle. And for a circle, what are we doing? For a circle, we are basically getting an average. So an average, we have 0.25 times 5, plus 0.45 times 90, plus 0.3 times 280. Give us a figure. Give us a figure. What do we have here, somebody? 125.75. We are moving back slowly to this particular destination where this examiner now wants us to come and make what here? Where he wants us to come and make a decision. So assuming you are the one who is inside here, at the end of the day, you will be spreading out your hand, stretching out your hand. And of course, at the end of the day, you will settle for that particular fruit, which is bigger. So because these are expected monetary values, when I stretch my hand like this, the place I will go for is 127, the one that has got a higher expected monetary value. So this 127, given that I'm coming back to a circle, I will pull back the best. So I'll come and write here 127. I'll come and write here 127. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment I have this 127 here, given that this 127 figure was the final figure to prevail here, and it corresponds to small, that is akin to saying that small is the one that has fallen inside here. So you're saying that using the decision tree, we will come and invest in what here, somebody? In small. So invest in a small plant. 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 So is there anybody who has a question? Is there anybody who has a question? Is there anyone who has a question? Silence means they're okay. And of course, they're giving me green light to proceed. I would want to do like 4 questions of decision trees. But before I proceed with the next decision tree question, here we haven't finished this question. Actually, this decision tree, I just thought of it using this example to draw the tree. Otherwise, the real question here is the one given in Roman 2. Please pin the question there. The one given in Roman 2. The one given in Roman 2. So the one given in Roman 2, ladies and gentlemen, what is it talking about? The one given in Roman 2, what is it talking about? The one given in Roman 2, ladies and gentlemen, is talking about minimizing risk. If you recall, risk is normally measured using 2 things, standard deviation and the coefficient of variation. Standard deviation and the coefficient of variation. So tell us there that risk is measured using standard deviation, abbreviated like that, and standard deviation, ladies and gentlemen, and coefficient of variation, and coefficient of variation, and coefficient of variation, what we normally call CV. So CV does not only stand for curriculum vitae, CV has other themes. CV has other themes. CV has got other themes. So, ladies and gentlemen, risk is normally measured using standard deviation and the coefficient of variation. So what you need to do is to compute the standard deviation, ladies and gentlemen, of these production plants of ours. And we'll start, of course, with one of them one at a time. So we start with small. So small, I can see the profit. I can see the profit here. The profit for small is 40, 140, 40, 140, and then we have 180 versus the corresponding probabilities probabilities, we have 0.25, we have 0.25, 0.45, 0.25, 0.45, and then we have 0.30, 0.30 like that. So I would want to see whether there is any student here who will be able to remember the formula of getting standard deviation. The formula of getting standard deviation. Is there any student who is able to remember the formula of standard deviation? Somebody talk to me tonight. Formula of standard deviation, who is able to remember that formula? Somebody. Formula of standard deviation, who is able to remember that? There are students that have taught these things, but in financial management. Those students who are here, they happen to be my students of financial management. I taught you how to compute standard deviations and even coefficient of variation in a topic called risk management. Risk management. Now, even if I've never taught you before, whenever you hear of this word standard deviation, which you normally write as a 0, then you pull the tail there. You know, there are so many students who don't even know how to write this professionally. You get a student who writes this thing like that. This is a mitochondrion. This is not a standard deviation. Standard deviation is normally written like this. We have a 0, and then we pull that thing like that. We pull that thing like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, this standard deviation, remember from the definition of standard deviation in mathematics, in QA, we'll talk of x values minus x what here, somebody? X bar. X values minus x with above. Difference. A deviation is a difference. A deviation is a difference. Difference between the data values from their mean. So x minus x bar. And if you remember very well, in terms of mathematics, this deviation is normally special. It must be squared. And then we come and average it. To average this, we normally divide with n. In the situations where probabilities are not existing, we divide by n. But whenever you see probabilities, the deviations, what you need to do with them to average them is to come and multiply them with what here? Probabilities like that. And then at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you'll come and sum up everything like that. It doesn't stop there. It can't be called a standard deviation if it doesn't have what here, somebody? A square root. So normally, you don't go and start cramming this formula of standard deviation saying it is square. No. There is some concept there. The word deviation itself, ladies and gentlemen, will be able to speak quite a lot. Deviation, x minus x bar. Data values here from the mean, that difference. And then because it's a standardized deviation, there is a concept of doing what here? Squaring. There is a concept of squaring. There is a concept of squaring times probability. And then at the end of the day, we have sigma. Sigma. At the end of the day, we have sigma. And then again, in the spirit of standardization, you must come and give us the square root like that. Ladies and gentlemen, remember even in high school, we used to call this thing the root mean square. The root mean square. Meaning that the deviations must be squared. Because of the word mean, you average by multiplying them with probability. And because there are many items, you'll come and sum them. And then at the end of the day, square what here? Square root takes over as the last thing. Then, ladies and gentlemen, what I need to do very first to be able to get this standard deviation, I need to introduce a column here called x minus x bar squared times probability. Times probability. If you remember this question, the way we had started doing this question, we got our x bar. we got our X bar, which is the same as expected monetary value. We got our X bar, which is the same as expected monetary value. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have forgotten, our expected monetary value for these will be 40 if you have forgotten. 40 times 0.25 plus 140 times 0.45. 0.45 plus 180 times 0.3. Please remind ourselves that this figure was 120 what here? 127. So the figure here is 127. If my cameraman can see me all the way up to there, thank you very much. 127. So now come here, ladies and gentlemen. The first X, remember the profit here is our X. We don't know how much profit we're going to make. So the first X is 40 minus 127 squared times probability. Times the probability here, which is 0. What here, somebody? 0.25. 0.25. 0.25. So come and give us this thing. Come and give us this thing. So this one here will be equal to what, ladies and gentlemen? Please give me the figures. What you do, you say open brackets, 40 minus 127 close, square, times 0.25, give us a figure. Give us a figure, give us a figure, give us a figure. Give us a figure, ladies and gentlemen, give us a figure. Ladies and gentlemen, give us a figure. What do we have there, somebody? What do we have there, somebody? What do we have there, somebody? They're not talking to me. Perhaps they're not able to even hear me.
First one. 6972.25.
6972.25.
They're getting different answers.
They're getting different answers.
I think 1892 is the correct one.
1892 seems to be popular. Remember what you're supposed to do is to come and open brackets, 40 minus 127, you close, and then you square. And then you attach the probability. You attach the probability. I'm being told by my friend here, who is quite young, and I'm going to call him my son, that the correct figure is 92.25. Come to the second figure of X. The second figure of X is 140. Minus X bar doesn't keep on fluctuating. That is why it has got this bar. Bar means uniform throughout. So minus 127 squared times 0.45 give us a figure. Give us a figure.
76.05.
76.05. So go to the last one. The last one is 180 minus 127 squared times 0.3. Please give us a figure. Please give us a figure there.
842.7.
842.7. And then ultimately, if you remember our formula of standard deviation of X, it is X minus X bar squared times probability, summation, and then at the end of the day, so come and give us the summation of this. We have to sum first. Give us the summation of this. Give us the summation of this. We have to sum first. We must sum, give us the summation. What do we have there? Somebody talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. What do we have here? Somebody's summation.
28.11.
28.11. He doesn't have a decimal. He doesn't have a decimal. He doesn't have a decimal. Ladies and gentlemen, after I've done that, the last thing will be for us to come and take the square root of this 28.11. So square root of 28.11. Square root of 28.11 will end up giving us what figure at the end of the day? Will end up giving us what figure at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen?
53.0189.
I'm being told that the standard deviation of X here, which is small, is 53.08.
19, but most of them are rounded. 189.
3.0.
189.
53.0189. Thank you.
Majority have rounded it.
3.02, that is okay. That's allowed. That's allowed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, having gotten the standard deviation of x, I expect you, great students of mine, to give me the formula of getting coefficient of variation. The formula of getting coefficient of variation. Coefficient of variation equals what? Are they complaining about my board? Nobody, sir. I'm imagine they're able to see clearly. Nevertheless, give me a better pen. So coefficient of variation. Okay, let's feel this. So coefficient of variation, ladies and gentlemen, how do we get the coefficient of variation? Is there somebody who is able to give us the formula for coefficient of variation there? I'm waiting, I'm patiently waiting. What is the coefficient of variation formula?
Standard deviation divided by
What is the name of that student?
Hillary.
Hillary has gotten it correctly. That any time they want us to give them the CV, we'll normally take the standard deviation divided by the mean times 100. CV equals standard, you can write it in full. CV equals standard deviation divided by the mean times 100. There's a student who sometimes back came up with a very easy way of remembering this thing. He told me that anytime they tell you something to do with CV, always know that CV is a sex in percentage, where my sex is boy, girl, gender. So I know you'll never forget that. So our CV, if I was to write, I can also put it this way, CV equals, I know that standard deviation of mine can be written like that. And I know that this X bar can as well be the expected monetary value. And then whatever I get times 100. So the standard deviation that you guys have given me is 53.0189 divided by our expected monetary value that was equal to what somebody here divided by expected monetary value. Please remind Mwalimu is not able to remember the expected monetary value that we got up there. It was coming to 127 years. 127 times 100%. Then at the end of the day, I will end up getting what figure?
41.75.
41.75%. That is the CV of small. The CV of small. Now, I would want us to enter into some marathon race, a marathon with hurdles along the way. It becomes sweeter when we have hurdles along the way. So that marathon between ourselves as students will be taking us towards, of course, finishing, touching the last line there, which will be for you great people to give me the standard deviation of large and the CV of large. And I'm giving you exactly 5 minutes. I'm giving you exactly 5 minutes for you to be able to help me in those two. Give me the standard deviation of large and the CV of large. I'm giving you exactly 5 minutes. Yes. What we're doing, ladies and gentlemen, is to look for the standard deviation of large and the CV of large. Please help us. How many are there?
Yeah. Kupata gym ya 45. Kupata gym.
Sasa kabla kulala. Niwanda kulala. Ni hatari.
Yaani sana.
Hey.
Bwana mzee anaweka amemaliza mikungu.
Mama, atamaliza sana hapo kwanza. Singekuwa maliza.
Nataka hiyo video
Huku nini?
video yake inatakikana sana. Sio nataka nimalize tu kama nimalize.
Okay. Sawa. Hiyo ndani pia. Sawa tu.
Sisi kuletwa alafu juu.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I would want to see your answers. Fortunately, most of you are even able to complete much faster than I even thought. So they already have the answers. So we have here standard deviation of large. What do they have there? Standard deviation of large, I'm being told, is 106.57. 106.57. 106.57. And then we have CV of large. The CV of large is 84.75. Is 84.75%. Ladies and gentlemen, between project large and the project small, which project is riskier than the other one? Which project is riskier than the other? Which project is riskier than the other? The higher the standard deviation, the higher the CV, the higher the risk inherent in a project. So the project that has got a higher standard deviation, or rather, that project which has got a higher CV is riskier than, of course, the one that has got a smaller CV. As such, larger scale production is more risky than what here, small scale. And that is why if we look at the question was all about minimizing risk. So if these people want to minimize the risk, they should be able to go for small. If they want to minimize the risk, they should be able to go for small. So conclusion, for risk minimization, we are advocating for a small plant. I want to believe that that is what you great students of mine would have done in a question. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would want us to go to question number, the next question there. If you could pin the next question. It is in your past papers, but I can't recall exactly which year, but that is neither here nor there, but it's one of the most recent questions. I would want to give you 1 minute. You draw for me, ladies and gentlemen, We look at that question, Roman 1, they want us to draw a tree showing the payoffs and the expected monetary values of each alternative. and then you advise the management of the company on the best product to introduce into the market. I would have wanted to do it very fast. Of course, I know there must be somebody saying here, oh, my bundles are burning out. Why can't this money? But you see, if I do that, that will be going against the tenets of teaching. Teaching, especially under the CBC, competency-based curriculum, teaching or rather learning has moved from the teacher to the student. Mine should only be to dribble the ball once, and then I throw the ball to you, and then you keep on dribbling it for 90% of the time, meaning that you are the Messi.
That's key. If you use maximum, is it wrong since it is for risk averse?
A good student is asking there, if we use in this case here maximum, is it wrong for risk averse? I know what the student is looking at in this particular case. We say that maximum is for risk what here averse. Nevertheless, whenever you get an examiner talking of this kind of risk minimization, he wants you to calculate what here this parameter, CV and what here standard deviation. CV and standard deviation like that. And of course, if you're not very sure in an exam, you do the question using both methods. Great. Thank you for that question. Is there someone who has been able to finish drawing that tree? Okay, so they're saying, Mwalimu, we are through with this. Let's compare notes and see. Let's compare notes and see. So this is quite an easy question. If you could read it together, speed it up for me there. Oh, and there's a student who was saying we explain why we concluded like this. We concluded, ladies and gentlemen, we go for a small plant because the examiner wanted us to minimize what here? Risk. To minimize risk. To minimize risk. And to minimize risk, ladies and gentlemen, basically is to go for the project that has got a lower what here? A lower risk. A lower risk. Great. So we go for a project which has got a lower risk, that is it. Now for this one, which you can see on the screen there, we are told a manufacturing company intends to introduce a new product into the market. 3 products have been proposed, namely P1, P2, P3. So automatically, those are our what here? Those are our alternatives. So alternatives, we have P1, P2, P3. P1, P2, P3. P1, P2, P3. The alternatives, the decision maker would want to know between the 3 products, which product should I launch? Which product should I launch? Ladies and gentlemen, we are told a company can only introduce one of the 3 products. The following are the estimates of the probabilities and annual profits of the 3 products at the given 3 states of demand. So we are told that if we go for P1, there are 3 possibilities. That our demand again, 3 outcomes. That our demand again, our demand could either be high, moderate, or low. So we have high, moderate, low. The same case with this one, high, moderate, low. The same case with this one here, we have high, moderate, and then low like that. So remember, probabilistic figures can only come from, or other outcomes can only come from a circle like that. So what profits are we talking about there? If you're able to see that question that is pinned there, please pin again for them for the last time. If you see that question that is pinned there, you'll be able to see if it's P1. P1, if I capture my figures in thousands, P1, we could either talk of 15, 15, 25, or what here? Negative 5. Negative 5. Negative 5. Negative 5. And if you look at the question again, for P2 we have 34, 30, and negative 3. So for P2 we have 34, 30, and negative 3. 34, 30, and negative 3. And then P3 we have 22, 22, 22, 22, 15, and 8. 22, 15, and what here? 8. And then we happen to be having, ladies and gentlemen, probabilities being shown there for those 3 states of nature, where I can see authoritatively probabilities are 0.35, 0.35, 0.4, 0.40, and then we have 0.25. Now I can project my board throughout. So we have here 0.35, 0.4, 0.25, 0.35, 0.4, 0.25, like that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would want you to do me a favor. Now it's all about rolling back. So while rolling back, what figure were you able to get for this circle? Remember, for a circle, basically, you give us what here, somebody, average, you multiply you multiply. So you have 0.35 times 15 plus 0.4 times 25 plus 2.25 times minus 5. Somebody give me an answer. I'm waiting.
14,000.
14,000. So 14. My figures are in shillings thousands. Kindly remember that my figures are in thousands. Whatever you get, you say divide by 1,000. How about this one here, somebody?
23,150.
23.15.
Yeah.
My figures are in thousands. Whatever you get, you have to divide it with 1,000. How about this one, somebody? What do we have here?
Yeah, 15.7.
15.7, I'm told here. And in the other question, yes. In the other question, ladies and gentlemen, I realize that there are students who are drawing cartoons. No, never do this. This cartoon is not part of the cartoon. It's not part of your tree. No, never draw it there. Nevertheless, for this cartoon of ours, when we lift up our hands like this, we are able to see the best fruit, which we should pull back. Remember, for an alternatives node, we always pull back the best. So which one is the very best we pull back, ladies and gentlemen? Which one is the best we pull back? So somebody called Grace. Ah, great. Judy. Eunice, she's saying P1, I doubt. The one that has got the highest expected more, this one here, 23.15. 23.15. And therefore, we are recommending what here, somebody our recommendation is that these people should launch P2. These people should launch what here? They should launch P2. They should launch P2. So you've been able to answer Roman 1, and you've been able to answer Roman what here, somebody? Roman 2. You've been able to answer Roman 1 and Roman 2. 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 Anybody who has a question? Is there anybody who has a question? Do we have anybody who has a question? Is there anyone who has a question? So I want us to do the last question, ladies and gentlemen, the last question, which again is somewhere there in your past papers. Question number 3, yes, question number 3. It is somewhere there in your past papers, but I don't want to mention because I would want this particular video to be used by my Section 5 students. So when I mention a sitting, perhaps you can write for them the sitting in the comments. That would be good. Is here. Question 3. So now in the comments there, you are able to see that question. I don't want to mention it because I want my Section 5 and other students from other sections to enjoy this without them knowing that they are doing questions from a previous section. And of course, even if they were to know that, they are the same. They are the same. So you can read together. We are told the Switch Gears Limited is in the process of introducing a new product named SG. Existing machinery can be used for the manufacture of the current product, but new special machinery is required for the manufacture of product SG. The new machinery cannot be purchased, but can be hired from a franchisor in 3 alternative specification batch sizes, 200, 300, or 600 units. The annual cost of hiring the machinery is 6 million, 18 million, and 25.8 million for batch sizes 200, 300, and 600 units respectively. With the introduction of product SG, the company could either drop or retain the current range of products, which earns an annual contribution of shillings 108 million. The cost accountant of the company estimates that with a market price of shillings 480 per unit of product XSG, annual demand would either be 600 or 1 million units. The following is the cost accounting estimate of the probability distribution of the variable cost associated with the general 3 batch sizes. So you can see there batch size, machinery specification, etc. So they want us to have a decision tree showing the payoffs and the expected values of each alternative action. This is a question that was lifted from CPA section 5, live to CPA section 4. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen, if you got this kind of a question in an exam, what would have you done? And the time is not on our side. So is there anybody who has been able to draw anything? Is there anybody who has been able to draw anything? So is there anybody who has been able to draw anything, however little? Is there anybody who is seeing stars? Yes, star. Yes, help. Okay. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is quite a very simple question. Trust me. Very simple question. So now here we are faced with two major alternatives. The alternatives are we produce new products called SG, or in this case here we continue with the old products. What have they told us if we were to continue with the old products? What have they told us if we were to continue with the old products? Well, they have told us in this particular question that my brother has been able to pin there. This question that I've been able to pin there, they have told us in some paragraph there, some sentence there, the one that starts with the introduction. Just give me the cursor. With. This one here, with the introduction of product SG, the company could either drop or retain the current range of products, which earns an annual contribution of 108 million. So if they continue, ladies and gentlemen, with the old product, they are assured of getting a cool 108 million contribution. 108 million contribution. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what have they told us about producing? What have they told us about producing new product? That we have to franchise some equipment. And this equipment they're going to franchise, the equipment that they want us to franchise, we must make a decision. We must make a decision there. What size of this equipment do we want? They are telling us somewhere here, the new machinery cannot be purchased, but can be hired from a franchisor in 3 alternative specifications. Alternative means what is that you've got powers to choose. That's why I've said to use a box node there. You have powers to choose. So from a franchisor in 3 alternatives specifications, batch sizes 200, 300, or 600 units. So we have here 3 of them. So we have here 200, we have 300, we have 600. So we have, if you remember, 200, 300, or 600. They have told us there, yes, they are telling us, ladies and gentlemen, that the cost of hiring here, the cost of hiring is 6 million, 18 and 25.8 for those types of machines. So the one that produces 200 units will cost us 6 million. So now here the one that will produce, this is 6, so I put in brackets because it's money going away. The one of 300, if you are able to show them, the one of 300, the one of 300 is where they're giving us money. Yes, 18 and 25.8. So we have here 18 and 25.8. So all these are cash outflows which have to be captured like that, ladies and gentlemen. Now, great. Now we are on to this biggest table of ours. The biggest table of ours, what do they have there? They are telling us that the following is the cost accountants. No, even before that, they are telling us the cost accountant of the company estimates that there will be a market price of 480 per unit of products SG. Annual demand would either be 600,000 or 1 million. Look at this. Annual demand will either be 600 or what here somebody 1 million. But regardless of the machine type that you go for, demand is probabilistic. Demand could either be 600 or 1 million. 600 or 1 million. 600 or 1 million. So it's probabilistic, they're probabilistic, so they can only come from a circle. I'm so sure when I come in my next class, all of us will be very happy because we shall have appreciated these symbols very well. So we are told there, I have to repeat again. I want to repeat again here that annual demand would either be 600 or 1 million, meaning that the two events are equally likely Equal likely means that the probability of each one of them will be 0.5. So you're told that the following is the cost accountant's estimate of the probability distribution of the variable cost associated with the general 3 batch sizes. So you can see the batch sizes, which are what here as well, probabilistic. The batch sizes here, you can see the cost per unit, the variable cost per unit is probabilistic. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to variable cost, what do we have there? There are 3 possible variable costs, 3 of them. I drew a small tree. Unfortunately. My tree is so small, but we shall overcome. My tree is so small, but we shall overcome. So they have told us, ladies and gentlemen, that our variable cost will be coming in either 240, 300, 360. So we have here 240, 300, 240, 300, and then we have 300 what here? 60. So we have 240, 300, 360, 240, 300, 360, 240, 300, 360, 240, 300, 360, 240, 300, 360 like that. So ladies and gentlemen, I would want to continue with this question, but if you don't mind, let us close everything today. Today we have done quite a lot. I'm also feeling it. We just stop there. In our next class, I will be able to start this question afresh in a way that all of us will be happy. Now that I know that you'll also get out of your comfort zone, going outside there, trying to scout how to draw this tree. So that now next time when we meet, you guys will be at a point of advantage. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I've also done quite a number of questions in this area. This is Joshua Aura, YouTube. When you go to YouTube channel, YouTube, just look for Joshua Aura. Joshua Aura on YouTube. Once you get it, just look for QA questions. You're able to get QA and financial management questions, many of them. And don't forget to subscribe onto this channel. You subscribe onto it, and if possible, share. Otherwise, it has been a privilege to host you tonight. And now this marks the end of this particular class. So kindly good night. And I want to imagine that you have enjoyed today's class. Thank you very much. Say hi to everyone in your family. Thank you.